Welcome to a very exciting episode with
Cannon Fodder RX,
Cool.
also known as
the co-creator of Kamen Rider Kaseki.
and today mostly Boo is gonna ask Kenan some question
We're
about
doing an interview, okay? We're gonna interview Cannon. I don't know why we didn't have the second creator, but he will do.
Yeah.
All right, let's start.
You know.
Let's start with a good crush. Let's start with a random question from Guns. Go ahead.
Me? Oh.
Yes.
Let me think about it.
All right, never mind. Let's skip. Let's start. All right. This question is about the writing.
Yes.
So, who writes Kaseki?
That would be we have two writers. We have Aw, who does the main writing. We give him a little rubric of all the ideas and basically how we want the scenes to go out. And because Global and I are terrible at dialogue, he turns that into the beauty that you see in most episodes. But because Aw isn't always great at grammar, we have our secondary writer, Rubelina, who goes over it and corrects grammar and adds details that she thinks should be there. But,
all right.
I got a random question.
Yes.
How did the travel become the travel?
The what?
Oh wait, you should save that question later. That's gonna.
How did that become the main travel of the series?
What?
He's basically asking, how did you get the design for the driver?
Well, as soon as we figured out it was with eggs, the gimmick was what we figured out first. That it would be eggs, or dinosaur eggs to be more specific. So we decided immediately that we wanted something to bite down on it. So we were just like, all right, let's make it a dinosaur head. And as someone later pointed out to us, it looks like the dino. Yeah, it looks like that. But we figured out the gimmick first, and then we were like, how would the driver look? What is he gonna? We also toyed with using a nest.
Toy.
But we decided to do that later with the upgraded form.
Good call.
So
following question for the writers. Are you planning to add more writers into the?
We will say there will be. I think we've said before there will be a movie exclusive writer.
Ooh.
Actually, two. They are called Relic and Amber.
Huh. Ooh.
And there might be more in the series, but all we will ever say is there will only ever be 3 writers at a time.
Okay, I got another random question. When is the voice thing, the audio book?
We have all the assets for that. All it really comes down to is that we need our main actors to get their lines in. And unfortunately, most of them are busy with college, including Global Night, so it's very hard to... Yeah. So we were just basically waiting on them to get lines, because we have the scenery done and all the art done, and our editor is ready to go.
Oh, and the artwork is thanks to Kiara Kitsune?
Yes, we have 3 different artists. We have Kiara Kitsune, who does the human art.
Bobby.
We have Bobby, who does the rider art. He's great at what he does. He actually, the cracks that are on most of them, except CO, I don't think CO or Seal has cracks on him.
Oh, so that was the pun.
I don't think he does. I have to look at that. No, he does. Well, he kind of does, but not as pronounced as Kaseki and Terror. He added them himself, and he's very good. He draws the art, and then it's like, what would make this complete? And then also we have Gio, who does the monster art.
Ah, okay.
And I think if everyone's seen how Gio draws, They're pretty good usually.
Pretty different too.
Yo, George, you want to ask a
Um,
question?
yeah, I'm gonna. So.
Yes, that one. That
Oh.
that is the human art for Riku's in the middle. Then there's Rika on the left, and then there's Kenta, who is our secondary rider.
If you guys are Whovians, you should know that that Rika was actually inspired by.
Riku's design with like the bow tie and everything was inspired by the 11th Doctor.
Yeah, Doctor Who. I found Doctor Who with Kamen Rider. Yeah, favorite.
Because I was like, Riku was raised as a rich British guy, and I was like, what would a rich British guy wear? What would a gentleman wear?
And the first thing that comes to your head is the 11th Doctor.
Yeah, his secondary outfit, his purple, the purple one that he wore in the later series.
The only thing that's missing is a green fez.
Oh, there might be a joke about that eventually. Who knows?
That's gonna be funny.
Is there in the Kaseki, is there gonna be? Was there any time travel?
We probably won't tackle time travel because I don't think I first off just hate time travel in most Toku. But I don't think we'd have a feasible way to do it without just basically throwing it in there for the sake of having it.
All right.
So, Chocoban, you want to ask a question?
Yeah. How many egg puns are you guys gonna have in this thing?
Probably at least one in every title. So that's like 48 episodes.
Yeah.
So 48 egg puns. Yeah, I mean, we've been reusing words.
Oh yeah.
We have been reusing words, but I think in the first 4 episodes we really threw them in there. We threw them in there enough that we had to tell Aw to like calm it down. And it was also used in episode 2, as it was referred to in episode 2, where Rika's just like, what is wrong with everyone and their fucking egg puns?
Nice.
And and then at that point we were like, all right, I think we've gone far enough. We could just make jokes about it in the title.
Okay. So how did Kaseki become popular? Somewhat
Popular?
Somewhat popular.
That's mostly just Global and I. We started posting on fanfiction, and also we went into most servers. We just went into and we're advertising it, and I think we just chose a good gimmick because I think a lot of people want a dinosaur rider. I think that's what a lot of people want.
Flashback to dinosaur sounding like an elephant in Geo.
Yeah, so actually we made a joke about that. We did make a joke about that. That's hidden in, I want to say 17 or 18. There's a joke about that.
Yeah, because Geo didn't start like that boy.
I don't. We have a joke. We have it like indirectly mentioned, where one of them makes a comment like, "Oh, I watched the show where the dinosaurs sounded like
different animals."
Yeah, it sounded like an elephant, and Riku's just like, "That's terrible, and that makes me angry." Oh yeah, it was 18. Because that was like 18 was written right when Geo came out.
Yeah.
So we had to make that joke.
So how did you get the idea for the secondary battle?
Well, after Riku was the first one, Kaseki was the first one we did, and then we decided we didn't want to just have him be based off another land dinosaur. So at that point we decided for this secondary and tertiary, we wanted one to be an air and one to be a sea, so that's why the secondary is pterodactyl and the tertiary is a plesiosaur. And then we just thought, what if we made Ryuga Banjo except stupider and a lot more egotistical and delusional in the egotism.
So it's the secondary battle boy has the most ego out of them, the most scary chosen Kaseki.
I think Kaseki and him both have the same amount of ego. I think Kaseki's is more justified because of all the things he's done in his life, and the secondaries is more delusional. But
So,
that's...
okay, Boo, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, hopefully you don't.
I think the territory is the territory is the only one who's really... Well, the secondary and territory are both our heroes, but I think the territory is the only one who's actually a good guy. He's just the classic nice guy.
Yeah.
Question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I have question. Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be putting reader notes in the story, like in the layout of the writing? So
we might go back when we finish it. We might go back and release a lot of early documents we did, and a lot of the we might release the rubrics, because the rubrics are generally really funny because all just makes general comments, and then just before because he'll just know what they mean. So they're almost like bloopers.
Huh.
So we might release those, and we might go back and say oh, this was foreshadowing, because we've had a lot of foreshadowing. We had foreshadowing in episode 9 that was very minor for our territory writer that you would really have to go back and look for. So when it's all finished, we might just go back and point it out. And also the scene with where Kuga and Gaim cameo without actually naming them, we might go back and be hey, if no one realized this was Kuga and Gaim.
Ah.
Okay. How many crossovers are there going to be?
What?
How many films?
How many what?
Episodes? There's going to be 48 plus a movie. We can't guarantee it'll take place in summer.
Crossovers, crossovers.
Let's see. We've had an Ichigo crossover, but Ichigo is just more a character in general who shows up occasionally. Because if anyone didn't know, Rika is his granddaughter. We kind of slightly changed that. Instead of Takeshi Hongo just being I must destroy Shocker for 45 years, he actually settled down for a little bit and had a family.
Yay.
Because it's also implied she has a couple aunts and uncles, so he had more than one kid. So we had him. We had Kabuto, because if anyone didn't know, Kaseki's personality is kind of Kabuto's. We took inspiration from Kabuto. We took inspiration from a lot of the egotistical writers, like Kabuto and Build. And then we had a Build crossover because I think we all just loved Build, and we thought Kaseki and Build would bounce off each other well.
And then we have Try.
We have Try. We do have Try. But that's not an actual episode. That'll be a separate mini-series. That's 2 episodes.
For the people that don't know what Try is, it's another family counter series.
By Will. Will helps us with the story actually now because he got really into Kaseki. And he's let me help you out. Adder, if anyone knows who Adder the Silver is, we're doing a crossover actually with him as well, eventually.
And Josh Wack?
He does, I think it's called Kamen Rider Soda? I do believe that's what it's called. We're doing that. And then in the main series, we're also doing, coming up in the 20s, we have a Fies crossover. That's going to be very hard because if anyone hasn't seen Fies, we can't include Kaisa, however you pronounce it. We can't throw him in. We can't even be oh, someone new uses the belt because, yeah.
Yeah, because if spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen Fies, if whoever uses the Kaiser driver will die.
Well, also because the driver was also destroyed in the last episode, which makes it we can't BS that back. So it is, so I can confirm. I don't know the entire story yet, but Fies and Delta will be the 2 appearing. Because originally we were like, shit, we can only throw in Phis, and then I actually watched the series, and I was like, oh no, we can throw in Delta. And then the last one, which will happen in the 40s, because it will actually be more story relevant, because most of the crossovers are setting up the summer movie. Build will introduce who the antagonists are. Actually, I think 17 did. Yeah, 17 did that slightly. Because we introduced the evil company, and then 20, which is the Build crossover, will introduce what they're actually doing.
There's an evil company.
There is an evil company, but that's just for the movie. That's just for the movie, which will the crossovers, because then the Phis one will have them learning about it and being like, and actively deciding they need to take it down, which will lead into the movie.
So,
And then the last one, I think we've been kind of tight-lipped, but I'll confirm it because I think All really wants to brag about it. It will be Double. We will have Double appearing, and it will be a bit more story-based than our other crossovers.
wait, Double for the movies or for the like actual series?
Double will be in the 40s after the movie. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna actually have story impact because I'll reveal it now. Our detective character that we have in the series, Mikio Ota, was another protege of Skull's. So
Wait, so would it be actually like Shoro and Philip, or just one of them, or just?
it will be both of them because Oz will be voicing Philip.
Yeah, because I remember for a time in the Kaseki server, if you want to join, someone's gonna need to put the link in the YouTube thing.
Okay. Yeah. So another random question I am gonna ask. So for the audiobook, is there gonna be like a theme song to it?
Adder sent us like, I think it's the Ganba Rising theme song.
Yeah, it's gone viral, which is actually really good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna rework that. I think we're gonna like make lyrics for it.
Did you already choose the single?
Hmm?
Choose who's gonna sing it?
We don't know, again, because if we make lyrics, we're gonna have to find someone to sing it, or we might just use the instrumental. Because I think we were originally thinking about using the instrumental for Kabuto, because again, Kaseki's influenced by Kabuto heavily.
Makes sense.
And so we were going to use that, but then Adder suggested that, and we're like, oh, that works.
Oh, the week
Well.
is back.
Sorry.
So,
That's just got me right in the feels.
Guess I'll die.
Oh, don't do that to me, man.
Rest in peace, Greasy Boy.
so may I have the spotlight for these couple next questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is relating to the monster.
Yes.
Do the monster have a mind of their own, or they? Let's start with how are they created? How are the Metaru created?
The Metoryu are, at least the first two generals, I'll say, because we've been very tight-lipped on our main antagonist. We really want to just have him show up and be a surprise to everyone when he does, because he's going to be badass. I will confirm he created the two generals, but they were born, like, probably around ancient times. I don't think we've given a fair... We haven't gone into their backstories that much yet. They mentioned briefly that they tried to live amongst humanity, but that failed. I would say that probably happened around, like, ancient Greece, ancient Rome times. But otherwise, a normal Metoryu monster is there are fossils, sometimes scattered or sometimes they have them, that once it comes in contact with an element, it creates a chemical reaction, and a Metoryu is born. And depending on either the element or how much power the generals put into them will depend on if they have a mind of their own. Initially, for the first 11 or 12 episodes, none of the monsters had a mind of their own. They didn't speak. They kind of just went wild and attacked everything they saw. But we've been using more. They've started to get smarter. The first one we showed to get smarter is Pachyfight, because he was originally Pachycarbon. He was originally carbon-based and a Paxor, and then he evolved because he had 3 elements thrown into him, and right now he's graphite-based.
Insert counter exit reference here.
Basically, and then he'll eventually evolve into another form. But that will happen much later.
Okay, I got another random question. Are there references to a British series like Tom Opposite?
We haven't thrown in anything. We haven't thrown in it because I know someone did ask me if there's references to Squall. We haven't thrown in any references to Marcos or Karn or any of them. I think if we were going to, we would probably throw them in on because we are doing a hyper battle. I think we would probably throw them there where it's a more comedic thing.
What about the vehicles?
Every rider has a vehicle. Kaseki has
a Raptor motorcycle.
Scouter, which has a Raptor mode and has an Ankylo mode. We have art of the Scouter, but we haven't done art of the Raptor in the Ankylo form.
For the people that want to see it, okay, somebody needs to post it because I don't have anything.
I just posted it.
If you guys notice, if the people who are watching this notice the arms and legs, doesn't have a actual Raptor mode.
It does, because we have in the series little dinosaur androids that Riku has invented, and also Daigo invented his own plesiosaur one that merge with the Raptor machines, as well as keep surveillance. And basically, because that's how Riku was getting around and learning about Mitoryu attacks before Riku kind of started running her blogs, which reported Mitoryu attacks as well.
Those are Jurassic Park references.
Oh, yeah, that's actually Riku's favorite movie.
Oh, yes!
We actually went there, because...
Please tell me that when they have the Raptor bike, someone goes, "Look out."
No,
That would have been so perfect.
No, our episode 18 actually had Riku and Rika watching Jurassic Park, and Rika's like, "I can't believe this is your favorite movie." And Riku's just like, "Yeah, well," Riku's just like, "It's my guilty pleasure. It may not be completely accurate, but
hey, it's still a damn good movie."
Yeah, he defended that.
Speaking of,
there's also one more that we haven't, that no one I think has caught, that we went really Riku's birthday is June 11th, which is when Jurassic Park was originally released.
Oh.
And that's the joke.
Okay, so who does the voice acting for the driver?
The driver is Global. Global does all voice acting for the driver, and he also voices the robot dinosaurs.
Alright, Boo, you can do the other question.
Will you make any commercials for them?
We might humorously, after the first episode, we might humorously do a little thing at the end. Do our best. One of us do our best announcer voices for the DX Kaseki driver and Daimagos.
Okay. So Boo,
Kaseki driver and Daimagos.
Yeah.
So Boo. Boo.
Yeah. Oh.
Another question.
So in Kaseki, there are these robots that would go around and warn about the monster attacks. How do they actually know the monster appearance or attacks?
They go out into the city and kind of keep watch. Riku's yes, that is Terror. That is our secondary rider.
Without the wings.
Yes, without the wings. The daggers are actually his wings.
Oh,
That's why there's the little dagger and it has the wing design. That's actually usually his wings. So he can't fly and wield his daggers at the same time.
That would have been cool. Like, he could be like Ariel slashing everybody. He's like, take this, bitch.
It's kind of part of his special, but yeah, the dinosaurs usually aren't in the mansion. They are usually just patrolling the city, and since Riku didn't know what the internet was until episode 2, they actually have to run back usually and go notify him.
He didn't know what the internet was.
No, that was a whole thing in episode 2. Him and Rika had an argument about that.
Crazy thing ever. Like, look it up on the internet. What is this internet?
So they have to actually run back to the mansion from the town. So there's always that interval that the Mitoryu is attacking that.
Oh, Go wants to ask a question.
But yeah, they're eventually going to get not remade, but cough cough. Sento and the build crossover kind of takes them apart.
Oh.
That's not much spoilers. He does that in like the first scene. So that's just the excuse we're going with to upgrade them.
So once again about the robot, since they have to move to town to just look around for the monster and have to run back to the mansion. How fast are they?
The raptor is really fast. That's why he's usually the one in town. The Ankylo one usually is the Ankylo one is usually the one that's like in the cave helping Riku with whatever he needs help with. But sometimes the Ankylo does need to go out, so there is that factor.
I would like to ask a question.
Yes. Go, Ken.
Will Officer Miko have a bigger role in the future?
Yes. Detective, but he does have an episode. Episode 21 is actually an episode for him because his wife died, I think, and his wife was injured in episode 13 in a museum break-in, and then we had her in the hospital for those episodes until I think episode 17 or 18 when she finally died. We also just used it for copious amounts of X-Aid cameos.
Oh, that just sounds awesome.
So she died, and he hasn't been seen, but in episode 21, he's going to be back. And after that, all I'll say is he kind of becomes a Commissioner Gordon in a way. That it will also be another source of information for the riders. Because unlike other, more like Kuga, the police actively know about the Mitoryu threat. I mean, there was kind of a building exploding in episode 4 that killed a lot of people, probably 100 plus. So the police are very much aware, and they are very actively trying to stop it. So there will be times where the police have more information than our riders do. And Mikio being a detective and a respected one, and where they are in Tokyo, can get that information for them.
But they're going to need Kiva references, since you are knowing.
I think the most Kiva references we'll have, we're going to have one in 20, because Grease appears, and we're going to mention that Riku is a fan of Oteya, because they were around in the same time.
And they're also the same. And they're also the same actor.
Yes, that's going to be the joke. Daigo's just going to be like, "Oh, hey, he looks like that one violinist you like."
Wait, so Rika, who was the common writer again? Rika's what?
Rika is the female protagonist, but
yeah, I know.
Riku is Riku's Kaseki.
Yeah, but Rika said one of grandfathers or himself.
Rika's grandfather is Ichigo.
Hey,
I think But if anyone didn't know, because I mentioned the comment about Otia, both at least Riku and Daigo are technically they're in their 50s. The Daimagos and the driver stops their aging, similar to the Energems in Dino Charge.
So basically, they're immortal.
Plot.
They are immortal. They can only be killed in battle.
Or until the end of time.
So it was also brought up in episode 19 that eventually all their friends are gonna die.
Yeah, that was the most serious chapter you said.
That's when, because I think we've made it apparent kind of that Riku is more leaning towards an anti-hero. That's the episode where he goes full on anti-hero, or at least finally it comes out in the open that he is. Because he has a very fun rant that I think put a little bit of himself into about how much humanity sucks.
I still like episode 2 where Riku calls Rika Rita.
Yeah, that was him trying, at least, but that's still, he's been alone, or at least just had Alfie for 30 years. So it was just, we kind of tried to show that interaction with normal people usually is kind of hard for him.
I'm gonna go back to what Chio looks like.
Chio is, someone said she was best girl. Kiara, who voices her, would be very happy to hear that.
Of course.
That's Chio. Chio's the maid. Originally, that's all she was gonna be, but we've kind of been expanding her a bit.
I thought she would look a lot older.
No, she's 18 or 19, I think. She's the same age as Kenta.
Yeah.
Rika
looks someone from like Digimon.
I think Kiara ended up drawing her with red hair too. So I'm not complaining, but that wasn't the reference behind it, but she kind of did draw her with like reddish, brownish hair. But Chio originally was just going to be the maid and someone to talk to, for Rika to talk to, but we've kind of expanded it with her backstory in 13. And Rika and Riku kind of feeling for her because they both had parents who didn't give a shit about them. And then we're kind of trying to establish that Riku thinks of her as a little sister.
One more reference question. Is there going to be any references to Saban's Masked Rider?
I think I made a tweet a while ago
25.
that got people going crazy because I said that Kaseki was, because initially as announcing the tree crossover, I said that they were crossing over with Masked Rider, and that's not technically a lie. Because in the Tri crossover, our riders cross dimensions to go to the Tri dimension, so let's just say that they might end up in the Masked Rider dimension briefly.
Just see like a big bulbous.
All I'll say is one of our riders may punt Furbus.
Yes, someone finally will kick that.
One of them might kill Furbus. Who knows?
Oh,
I won't say.
Wait,
what people like this?
Masked Rider. I'm just like imagining we could just looking at Masked Rider and just yelling Masked Rider.
Oh,
not that, but
I think we're actually gonna have to wrap this up.
Why?
I'm running out of time here. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. Any final questions?
Any thing
How many
you want to
dinosaurs
say?
are they have?
Oh wait, I have a. Never mind. You can speak.
I think we've been not just been using dinosaurs. We've also been using prehistoric animals. I think there won't be 48. There won't be one for every episode because also I'll confirm our main villain isn't dinosaur based. He's something else. And then also one episode we've used upgraded grunt foot soldiers. So there won't always be a monster of the week, but there's going to be more than 20 dinosaurs.
Cool. So that's all.
Yep.
If you like this exciting episode of this podcast with Kame,
We have no idea what you call it.
Yes.
please read Kaseki if you want to like have something to do. Would you laugh?
Or you could wait, because we're hoping to get the first episode out over the winter break.
For the audio.
Ooh, you heard it there.
Yes, we are
Winter break.
hoping, because that's when everyone will have time. We're hoping to do that. So don't quote me on that, but that's what we're hoping for.
Giant cringe fest, but you guys make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.